let me show you a couple of tips. So the first project has included in it a die cut that I've pulled from your set, and you'll notice that there is this gorgeous pink shine to it. I'm going to show you how I did that in a moment. I also have all of these different greetings that you'll also notice have a beautiful shine to it, and I've die cut those for you so you can use the ones that you want to fit with whatever you're making cards for, and the rest you can just have for other projects. So that first kit is going to have those things in it. But let me show you what this is from. So we have recently come out with a hot foil system, and I've got mine plugged in here so that you can see it heating up. So when you receive yours, you're going to have the little plug here. They've customized the plug for the market. So this is for the North American market. You're going to plug that in, and then you can see it's heating up. It takes about 5 or 6 minutes to heat up. So while that's heating, I'll show you some other things. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit here. So the other thing that comes in the kit are the plates. You're going to be using these to do the pressing. And it also comes with a magnetic handle. This is so that when your dies are hot, you can slide them onto a silicone mat. There's a little mat underneath the device while it's heating up, and it's because these little, the screws can get hot. This part here isn't hot, but the screws can get hot. So it's just to protect your surface. Okay, so there are 3 types of foil currently, and we have more foil coming out in September. But you can see they come in sets of 2. So you've got 2 of silver, 2 of gold, and 2 of light pink. And then with our Christmas ones, we have more colors coming out, which is very exciting. So you can see I used the pink foil to add to your embellishment there. And I used the silver foil for the words. So with the foil, the best way I found to cut it is using the your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. No, sorry, let me back that up. The best way to cut it is with your paper cutter. There we go, that's the word I'm looking for. You'll see I just have a little dot here that comes with the box, and I've just been sort of sticking it to the side. It kind of keeps the roll together. And then I'm going to slide the foil in, and then we're just going to measure it out. So let's say I want 3 inches. So now I can just put that in place and cut it, and it's nice and straight, easy to be able to measure for your specific die. So now I'm going to wrap this back up, and we can put it away until we're ready for the next project. Now, there are special dies that are used for the hot foil. So let me show you those. So you can see the gold are the foil dies, and the dark is the die cutting image. So 2 different dies required for those. You can see that there are really big bold images. We have bundles that coordinate. So you can see this is what the stamps look like. And then once again, the gold are the foils, and then the dark are the ones that die cut those out. So that beeping sound tells us that it is ready. So let me just grab the foils that we're going to use for the project. So these ones called Sweetly Sentimental, they're amazing because they have all these greetings that you can foil at once and then die cut it. So I'll show you what the difference is. So you can see the foil dies are a little thicker, and they're matte in their metal, and that's just to help you distinguish. So we're gonna set that onto our hot foil system, and now we're gonna press the little timer button. You'll notice that it's blinking yellow. That's telling us that it's heating up that die now. So while we're waiting for that to heat up, I'll keep showing you things. So here we've got the alphabets. It'll foil it all at the same time, and you can also die cut all these letters out individually in one die. So it's really handy because you can put foam adhesive sheets behind it and have pop-ups. I'll show you an example here in a minute. We have the Butterfly Flight hot foil dies. These ones here do the foiling, and these ones here do the die cutting. And then there's also decorative masks that you can color with, and I'll show you an example. Here you can see is the stamps called Botanical Glow, and this is the dies. Very beautiful, very elegant. Again, so easy to use. This one here has a stamp set that creates the scenes, and then you can foil the little scenery pieces, die cut them, and pop them up. They look really pretty. We have Sweetly Sentimental. This one goes with the die that we're using. So they're not meant to be exactly the same. It's meant to be able to create a card and then add a foil piece to it. Here you can see we've got stamps that add detail, and then also the foil that is adding some texture to the background. I'm going to explain why you're going to want to add this to your order. There we go. You can see the green light. It's ready to go. And I'll show you this in just a moment. And then I'll talk about these two here in just a sec. But let me show you how to do the foiling. So we're going to bring in the foil. And this foil needs to go shiny side down. So you're just going to put it on like a little blanket. And then you're going to bring in your piece of cardstock. And I'm going to lay that on top. And then we're going to bring in the two foil shims. So the green one goes down first. I always think green means go. That's how I remember. And then we're going to add the hot foil spacer. Okay. The next step is you need to bring in your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So this, you're not using the platforms for. You're going to put this aside because this hot foil machine, this is your spacer. So you're going to unplug it. And now you're going to roll it through, and it's going to act as the platform that you normally would use your regular platform for. Okay, are you ready? This is so exciting. So we're going to put this back, and when we bring this to the side, you will see we have our foil on our paper here. And now we can remove this sheet, and voila, you have all of that beautiful shine. So now it's ready for your die cut. And all you want to do is line up these little squares here. And then that's going to make it so that you've got it even. So now you can just run it through your die cutting machine the way you normally would, and you're good to go. Now, one of the questions that I've been getting is, can I use the Big Shot? So let me give you some history. So you probably don't remember, but my aged history with Stampin' Up, I remember that the Sizzix Big Shot that we carried came out in 2007, 2008. So that was the last time we came out with a hugely revolutionary product like the hot foil machine. We carried it until about 2019 when Sizzix, the maker of the Big Shot, stopped carrying the size that we were using. We had about a year or two where we didn't carry a die cutting machine, and then Stampin' Up came out with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in 2021. So we've carried this one for 5 years. So sadly, we do not, you can't use your Big Shot to be able to use the hot foil machine. And I know that the Big Shot, it's designed to last, and I love that if you still have it, that you're still using it. But the problem is Stampin' Up could not create a machine to go with a system that didn't exist anymore. So we had to go ahead and complement the system that we use. So that's one thing that you'll just need to note is you do need the big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Another thing to note is that you'll notice that there's a lot of, not a lot, but a little bit of foil that has gone onto the back side of that. Just think about it the same way that you do your cutting mats. This is the working plate, and so your working plate is going to look like it's been working. So that's just, it's not going to affect at all the use of the machine. I have to say I am absolutely loving how this looks on cards. So let me show you a couple of examples here. So here you can see is a Christmas one. And there you can see those dots in the background. We have the leaves. You can see how beautiful it looks with the stamping. There you can see that alphabet in the background. I mean, it's just so elegant. This is what I was talking about, the when you have the alphabet and the numbers, you can die cut them out, and when you put them onto foam adhesive sheets, then you get that popping up. Here you can see the pink with black. Oh yeah, look at this. Here you can see the foam little pieces. Here is that butterfly with the masking. So pretty. And you can even go ahead and use it on other papers like vellum shimmer paper. So when I talked to you about the Swiss dots die, the reason why you want to add them to your collection is here you can see the background again. And I used this paper to cut out the leaves, and then I used the Swiss dot dies with it 2 more times. So I was able to get a lot of foil use. I probably could get even 1 more out of here. And the reality is that sometimes there'll be a little bit that doesn't pick up, but for the most part, you're probably putting elements on the page and you're not going to notice if it catches a little edge of something. So I just feel like it's a great way to make the most use out of your foils. And stay tuned, in September, we have something else coming out that's really gonna make these negative sheets, so when you've cut something out already, it's gonna make these very, very useful. So stay tuned. Okay, so all of that to say, I've done the hot foiling for you. I know you don't have that tool at home, and so I wanted to make sure that you had that step done. The last comment I'll make about the hot foiling is people have asked me if you can use your regular dies, and the answer unofficially is yes. Officially, the answer is no, because it does take a specific die, but I did play with it a little bit to see. So it does require shimming it, and if you were interested, I could go into more detail about that. But what I will point out is dies for paper are meant to cut them out. So it's not as interesting as the foil dies, which are meant to press that detail into your paper. So you can see it's really delicate. And if you were to try to cut this out with a die, it would cut it out exactly where the foil is. So you have to be able to use the image the way it is. A lot of our images are kind of blobby because they're meant to have a stamp to cut out. And so they're not always the prettiest images, but it can be done. So yes, but also it's not the best for it. This is one of our impressions dies. Again, I can give you a tutorial on that another time, but this gives you a little more surface area, but it's not as exact as the foil dies. So it can be done. It just requires a little bit of playing. Okay, let's get on to the projects now. So I'll show you the first one here. And like I said, you're going to bring in the sheet and just look for the matching paper in the background. You're going to pop out this little piece right here in the middle, because you're going to be using that on a different project. The flowers all come from the die cuts that are in your paper. And then, like I said, I've gone ahead and die cut these out so you can just add in the ones that you like. You're going to embellish it with your flowers, and that's card number 1. So really, really simple. Card number 2, once again, you're gonna look for the paper in the background. So this is Hydrangea Hue, one of our new in colors. And here you can see is that background centerpiece that we popped out. You've got your greeting here that you can add, and every one of the flowers is from your die cuts, except for your little embellishments. I did add a little bit of stamping in the background. That's optional because there is, do you see this part of the paper? That's all how the paper comes. You can see it there. So if you want to add the stamping, you can. That was just an extra step. But yeah, you can see I've used some dimensionals to pop up some and leave others flat. It's up to you how you want to apply that. So nice and simple, but a very nice, elegant card. Project number 3. This one here, you're going to go ahead and add your designer series paper. These pieces here are die cuts, and then you're going to add your flowers. The die cut for this is white. And so I just used shimmer pens. Can you see the shimmer on there? It might not translate as well in the video, but the shimmer pens are really nice for coloring. And so that's how we added that color to it. But you could leave it black and white, or you could use your Stampin' Write markers or your Stampin' Blends to be able to color those, however your favorite coloring is. Again, a nice simple card, but it does add a little pop of color. Have you heard about flip flaps yet? These are such a fun little detail. They're designed for scrapbooking and card making. I love to use them in card making. It's a great way to add a fun interactive detail. So here you can see the first flap opens like so, and I've just added some photos of my family. And then this one opens like that. And it's a nice way to be able to add a personalized touch to your cards. They come in 3x3, 4x4, and then 4x3 and 3x4. So like you can do it oriented landscape or portrait. So it's just a great way to be able to add it. And it's really, really simple. And I'll show you the details here. So in your packet, you've got all of the stuff that you see here. Here's the 2 flip flaps, the insert that you'll write on, and then these are the pieces that you'll decorate. Okay. So this one here, you're going to bring the big flower that looks like this and just trim it to size so that it can slide inside the little piece like this, okay? And then this one here, same thing, I've grabbed a couple flowers and a leaf, and so I'm gonna stick those on there, and then I'm going to add, here's to another year. Now this was one long piece, and I just cut it into sections so that you can add it and have it sort of be hidden behind the flap. Okay, so that one is now going to go into this one. So you want it to be so that the little mouth of the page protector is opening towards you. And I'll show you why here. Okay, so you're going to bring in your card base and the designer series paper, and you want to work with the designer series paper. So you're going to take this, and with the mouth facing up towards you, you're going to peel this backing off. I'm not going to do it because this is it going home. This kid's going home with someone. But you're going to peel that all the way off, and then you're going to line it up with the edge of the opening, and then you're going to fold it back, and that's going to cause it to stick down. So same thing here. You want the opening to be facing you. You're going to peel off the white strip, and then you're going to fold it back, and now you have these 2 little flaps that open like that. So once you have that done, you can add your adhesive to the back, and you're going to stick that onto the paper, and you want these to line up. And then you can open these, go ahead and stick this inside, right? These will be stuck down. And then that will be where you can hide it behind your flaps. And then when you open it, you're going to have your little greeting there. Cool, right? So you can see I've added some greetings, I've added a little embellishment, and that is how that project goes. Once you've got that all done, you can stick it onto the Gorgeous Grape one. Okay, so that is your 4th project. Let's move on to your 5th project. You're going to be making that cute little box for your Mentos. So it's going to open up. It's just one sheet of paper. It's really simple. This is a box style that can be adjusted, and so that you can fit multiple things. If you wanted to make something that was sized for a gift card, you could do that. If you wanted to fit Ghirardelli chocolates, you could do that. So this one is specifically for your Mentos. And how you're going to do that, this is a 3x12 piece of paper. 1 inch, I scored it at 6 5/8 inches, 7 5/8 inches, and then I turned it this way and I did 1 inch and 2 inches. Does that make sense? 1 inch, 6 5/8, 7 5/8, turn it 1 and 2. Okay. So on those little score lines, you're going to fold your box, and you're going to do a little bit of adjusting so that you can create the tabs. So you want to bring in your sharp scissors, and you're going to snip it just a tiny little sliver out of the paper. And this is just going to make it so that it will fold just right. Okay, all the way around. Okay. I'm sending this home in your kit, so I'm going to just leave this ready for the next step, but I'm using a different piece of paper so that you can see. Okay, So now I've got all the cutting done, and now we're going to do the gluing. So I'm going to go ahead and fold it. Just think about which way you want the designer series paper to show. And the glue is only ever going to go on the little tabs. Okay, so we're gonna bring in, you can use tear and tape or multi-purpose glue. For this, I like the multi-purpose glue, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the outside of the tabs. And then I'm gonna fold it in, and remember we cut a little bit off, so it's not gonna line up perfectly on the seam. So you want it to be thinking about it as a 90-degree angle. So what I mean is, so see how that is at 90 degrees, but it's not perfectly lined up. And I like to use little clothespins to do the heavy lifting for me so I don't have to hold it while the glue dries. Okay, we're gonna do just the flaps again. So fold those little tabs in, and then you're going to go ahead and fold this up. Pinch that together and use our little clothespins. Just like that. So now we're going to allow that to dry, and while that's drying, you have a piece in your packet that is a 1 inch by 3 inch piece. So you're going to go ahead and glue that on the top just like that. Again, I'm not gonna add this one. And then you're going to fold that in once it's dry, and we can take off these little pieces, and then that will just slide into the box like that. Okay, now we're going to add a little bit of ribbon so that you can tie that closed, and this will just work as a belly band that kind of holds the box together. And we'll slide that on just like that. And then you've got a little tag here that you can add a thank you, and then your little die cuts and one of those beautiful flowers. So that is how that little box comes together. Pretty sweet, yeah? And so once again, you've got your box, you've got your flip flap card, you have your colored flower, you have your foil projects, and you have some beautiful violet creations to share with friends. I hope you've enjoyed this class. Let me know if you need any assistance with anything. I'm here to help. Bye for now.